Hello again, everyone. We're just jumping right back into it. It is April of 1936, and we are playing as the German Reich. Let's get rid of this battle plan for now, just because it's messing up the map a little bit. So, as of last time, we decided we needed a total of 3 armies. One here, and one in here. These are going to do the majority of the pushing straight down into Warsaw and Lodz. This army will have the job of pushing into Danzig and coming over here to Krakow. And another corps will come over here to Grodno and take out most, if not all, of the Polish victory points, and that should force a surrender of the Polish country. Before that, we are going to need to work on Austria and Czechoslovakia, and we are doing that fairly well, actually. We are losing spies over here, but it's not that big of a problem. We are up to 3% for the National Socialists in Austria. And in Czechoslovakia, they are down to 15%. I believe we were at 16% last time, but that's okay. They could be supporting their party too. Not too super worried about it. In the Soviet Union, we are currently working on counter-espionage. I doubt we'll be able to completely defeat the Soviets. It all depends on their priorities in terms of what their spies are doing, but it looks like they currently have 7 spies doing counter-espionage. We only have 5, so I'm going to just hide my spies. Hopefully we can get a decent amount more spies infiltrated into the Soviet Union in the future so that we can begin increasing their threat in earnest. The French Republic, I'm not doing anything with right now. I could try to mess with them a little bit, but not going to worry about it. And the United Kingdom, also not really going to worry about it. I could try to increase their threat, but it's not really in the cards. Right now I'm just using this for information, really. So I should probably drop their priorities a little bit. Focus a little bit more on the Soviet Union. We've already done the reoccupation of the Rhineland. And we deployed, last time we deployed the 2nd Corps of the 2nd Army. And we have officially opened up the trade route, apparently. We only need to be at 40, I guess. Awesome. So, we've lost this effect, which used to give us more energy and money and less metal. So now we are getting less energy because of the trade route, less money because of the trade route, and more metal. It's basically increasing the amount of metal that we produce by 20%, which is pretty fantastic. We are trading some away. I'm not too thrilled about that, but we'll see. Italy's reconstructing stuff. Mexico wants to buy energy. That's fine. Saudi Arabia wants to buy energy. That's fine. We have serious energy problems right now. We are losing a whole bunch of it because of the coal storing problems. So, and this is the HPP way of giving us manpower in exchange for agriculture improvements, because more technology improved in terms of agriculture means that less people are required to work in the fields. So rather than just explain it away like, oh, you have more food now, so you have more people, and so 6 months later you have more men entering the army, which doesn't really make much sense, because like you wouldn't see a population increase in terms of food improvement for like a generation. It doesn't really work like that. But what this means is that from May the 2nd until July the 1st of this year, we will be getting 50% more manpower to sort of represent people moving from the countryside into the cities. So rather than gaining 0.2 per day, we're gaining 0.4 per day or something like that. I don't know. Monthly gain has gone up by 50% thanks to the recent agricultural breakthrough, which is pretty fantastic. It's a decent increase in money. It does mean that we now have dissent to deal with, but I'm not too worried about it. We are decreasing our dissent level at 0 investment from us. We don't even need to worry about it. What do you want, Italy? We'd give them money, they'd give us rare materials. That sounds fantastic to me. No new decisions, no new laws. Trade offer from Norway. We give them energy in exchange for money? Yeah, that sounds fine. Let's cement our friendship here a little bit and get that trade route going. Here are the... oh, I moved everyone into Berlin. Let's take a moment to take a look at our Luftwaffe. We have 1, 2, 3... 3 interceptors. That's it. We've got a bunch of medium bombers. I don't think we'll need to build any more medium bombers if this is what they give us from the start of the game. That's pretty awesome. We've got a decent amount of light bombers. We'll want to expand that out a little bit. So we'll do groups of 2, like normal. Oops, come back here. This wasn't up, I guess, all last time. 2 light fighters. And we have 1 light fighter left over. Okay, so let's just combine them. Your base here. Yeah, okay. We'll do groups of 3 light fighters from now. Light spiders. All right. Move you down to Breslau. We have these guys being produced yet again. That's fine. Let's add just 1 light bomber to the mix. Oh, that's the same practical. Okay. So we will keep our practical up for both light bombers and light fighters by building either one or the other, which is fine. Don't really need light bombers right now. We can focus our Air Force where they're absolutely needed. So we've got these 2. I'm going to deploy you down to Breslau. Wonderful. Now these guys, we've got some transport planes and medium bombers. Let's do groups of 2 for medium bombers. You guys up here. Come on. No. Oh boy. We've got medium bombers, and it looks like we can do this a couple more times. Medium bomber. And medium bombers. Alright. Let's let them fly out. Make it easier to select what's left. Move you over there. Move you over there. Awesome. Small arms advance. Let's pay attention to this for just a second. We can no longer do this efficiently, so we need to find something else to improve for our infantry, and we'll do anti-tank guns. This will increase the defensiveness and heart attack and piercing attack of all of our horse-drawn and truck-drawn support brigades. Sounds fantastic to me. We've got some naval bombers, and I think the naval bombers are where we can significantly hurt the Germans. We're going to want to expand this airbase, I think. We'll see. And hurt the Germans, hurt the British. That'll be our main counter to the large British Navy, I think. Make them hurt to get close to our coast so that we can do our own thing. And these transport planes I'm just going to leave in Berlin for now. I'm not sure that we'll actually be doing anything with them, but they could be nice in terms of getting supplies somewhere that they're lacking. So we are actually using supplies in terms of trading it out, in terms of improving our relationship with other countries, but I'm not going to do a full investment into supply production just yet. Single engine aircraft improvement. Yep, there's that. It looks like we can research heavy fighters. That might be nice, if only to get this this escort fighter upgrade. Vastly increases the defense of basically our medium bombers. So I mean, we'll slot that in there for now. We're not going to start researching it yet, but that's okay. What do you want? You want money? You'll give us rare materials. That sounds great. Energy production. And now we can swap out this for rare materials production. Awesome. Hey, medium tanks. And the Spanish Civil War. Coup failed. Alright. So we've got it. We've got the Spanish Republic, the Spanish state. Great. Now, this isn't Hearts of Iron 4. You can't just like give them 2 of your units to fight with. What we can work towards is this Spanish Civil War intervention. We need to have at least 5,000 supplies in order to send them anything. So let's do a significant amount of that, I suppose. We'll do that. We'll put a pause on some of our Panzer divisions for now. Speaking of Panzer divisions, we have researched the ability to make medium tanks. They're still pretty crap, so we're not actually going to work on making them just yet. But it is fairly awesome that we've got medium tank ability. Panzerkampfwagen 3. So, if we look in divisions, just a quick comparison between medium armor and light armor. Right now, medium armor is much worse at soft attack, same in hard attack, much better in piercing attack, better in, just slightly better in armor, and better in toughness, but worse in defensiveness. But it would decrease the softness of more squishy, like motorized infantry units that we attach them to. They are slightly slower, but it's not that big of a deal. They consume more fuel, more supplies, and more build cost in terms of industrial capacity. So in other words, it is pretty useless for us to be building medium armored right now. But we've really just researched the ability to build them. They would be much better if we were to focus on medium armored as opposed to light armored. Spanish Republic wants stuff. We would give them money, they'd give us raw materials. Yeah, sure, why not? And these guys are aligning towards Axis, which is great. They love us. I don't know if they'll actually help us. Probably not, but who knows. El Salvador would like money. Yeah, we're still having energy storing issues, so we could deal with that. We need to have 5,000 supplies. We're getting 60 per day. It might take a bit to get 5,000, but Uruguay wants energy in exchange for money. Sure. Sure, fine. Yeah, sure, whatever. Getting to go through and rename all these air wings so I know what they are when they're over here on my sidebar. But I don't really want to do that right now. I'll probably do that in between videos. You can see already that our staggering amount of officers is really not so staggering. Artillery training is pretty fantastic though. And we can now do special forces training if we are planning on building any of these, but I don't really think that we are, so I think we're just going to ignore this for now. We can't do that. Let's see, close air support. We're already ahead of time on close air support. I suppose we can work on a doctrine of some form. Run rate cratering is alright, not that great. Ground attack orb penalty. That would be pretty nice, I suppose. Is there anything more immediately useful we could worry about? Supply organization is being researched. These things are nice because they just increase your theoretical. And they make stuff easier to research in terms of in here. I think this one would take Grand Battle Plan Doctrine. So if we were to research theoretical Grand Battle Plan, it would make all of our infantry researches take slightly less time, but I don't really think that that is worth it at the moment. Twin engine aircraft, it's fine. Heavy bombers, I don't think we're going to do anything with those. Capital ship armament? No. Not really that worried about that. Let's just do some sonar for our submarines. It is nice to have more organization for our artillery, however. Alright, we are now increasing our rare material production, even though we have storing problems already. I think at some point soon here we're going to lose the metal storing problems modifier, and we will start seeing an increase in metal, which is nice. We give them money for rare materials. That's fine. I like rare materials. Truck engine increases. Basically anything that takes trucks, that has trucks, just got much better in terms of attack and movement speed, and got good modifiers in terms of different terrain types. Honestly, these aren't positive modifiers. These are just slightly less negative modifiers. And we can nix more research into truck engines at this point. Go over to... oh, I don't know. Armored cars, sure. Give our armored brigades, our armored support brigades, more organization. Let them fight longer. Heavy artillery guns. All right, we're just powering through this stuff. It's great. Okay, so that's ahead of time. All this stuff's ahead of time. Everything's ahead of time. It's June of 36, not quite 37. I suppose we could research Marines, but that sounds real stupid. I mean, we might at some point need Marines, but it's not like we're going to be fighting through the Pacific or anything like that. Let's focus on more short-term goals. And over here into industry, slap some down in supply production. Edward VIII has abdicated. Supply organization is now done, so we can move supplies better. And let's move on repair rate now. The less I see we need to spend on upgrades, the better, and repairs, the better. So now we have more than 5,000 supplies. We can do this intervention in the Spanish Civil War, and it's going to lose us some manpower and some money, but also lose us some neutrality. All right, let's do it. So now that's going to spawn some more divisions for the Spanish state. Italy and Hungary just canceled a couple trade agreements with us. I'm not too super worried about that. Norway canceling these agreements, though, is sort of unfortunate. Submarine engine advance. Yeah, let's stick with that. It's awesome. More range, more sea defense, and even less visibility. We're going to need to start rebuilding some submarines at some point. They're down to 25%. So the that modifier we have isn't going to stick around for too much longer unless we can get them to buy stuff from us again. They don't want energy, really. They don't want metal. They don't want... I mean, they sort of want oil. They want fuel? No, they don't. They want supplies? Not really. Yeah, I think Norway just doesn't want what we have. They'll get there at some point. I'm sure they will. So how are we looking in terms of Soviets have intervened as well? So let's knock this back down a couple pegs. Start focusing more on production. Our reinforcement, don't put too much. That'll be fine. We've almost got our 1st Panzer Division for the 2nd Army coming out. In August, we've got another infantry corps. Everything is going well. Luxembourg wants energy. That's fine. What's this? There's the Panzer. Alright. Go to Stettin. We're going to make you the 2nd light tank? Is that how I named it? Let's go over to the 1st Army and see. 1st light tank, yeah, but no core. We know it's a core already. We don't need to write it down. Boom, done. Awesome. Attach you to the 2nd Army. Load you up. Move you over. Awesome. Good stuff. Everything's coming together. Italy annexed Ethiopia. It took you long enough. Holy cow. So they annexed them rather than puppet them, which means that come the actual war, they're going to have hell of a time actually supplying them down here with supplies, because they can't exactly go through the Suez. They can't exactly go through the Straits of Gibraltar. So unless they were to push through Egypt and push down through Sudan, any troops they have down here are going to be just completely without supplies. Which sort of sucks. They will give us money in exchange for supplies. Is this the Spanish state? It is. I will give the Spanish state supplies. That's fine. I want them to win anyway. The Olympic Games in Germany. Lose threat. Sweet. Norway, what do you want? Yeah. I will trade with you, Norway. I love you. You're my best friend. Best friend in the world. Something, something, Greece. And there it is. I believe you are the 7th Corps. You are. Wonderful. Attach you to the 2nd Army. We can't, unfortunately, transport you all at the same time, but that's okay. So, with that, how far down does that drive our infantry requirements? Not too much further down. You can see there's sort of a sliding scale. It was all the way down to 8.96 here, but then we had another tick or something like that, and it's back up to 8.98. So we didn't lose too much in terms of industrial capacity, but we're doing pretty well on this. We're gonna need to start building out the 3rd Army soon enough here. Actually, yeah, we're gonna need to start building out the 3rd Army soon enough. Not immediately, not right now, but we're getting there. More industrial efficiency is fantastic. It's August of 36, so we can afford to research some 37 techs, but there's nothing in here really interests me one little bit. They're doing this one already. Let's see, what are we missing out on? Well, I guess we'll do, I don't know, Special Forces training just in case. Sure, why not? Alright. So basically, yeah, the next thing that finishes is going to push our industrial capacity over the currently existing amount of we'd give the money for rares, yes. The existing amount of stuff in our queue. We need to start thinking about building something new, which is pretty fantastic. Actually, I think the new thing we will be building is a patrol bomber, actually. So we want a patrol bomber, and I think we also want some more light bombers, but I'm going to wait for that until our interceptors are done and we get better practical for that. Yeah, let's do it. Money for rare materials, yes. We are losing money right now because of that mining investment thing. But I'm not too super worried about it. We've got plenty of money. Decent stockpile anyway. There's the 5th Panzer Division being deployed over here. Load them up, move them over. Attach you to the 2nd Light Tank. Awesome. And the 7th Corps. Move you down here to Ortelsburg. Boy. Alright. We no longer have the serious coal storing problems, now we just have normal coal storing problems, and so we are gaining 200 coal per day. Ridiculous. Man-portable anti-tank weapons. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, I'm just going to leave this off for now, rather than try to find something new. But yeah, we've got a lot of upgrades that need to happen at some point in the near future. Japan, they want to sell us supplies. No, you know, I can build my own supplies. I just don't want to right now. So you just hold your horses for a bit. Got another interceptor wing. Awesome. So what is our, whoops, wrong one. What is our light aircraft practical at? 25%. Well, 23.7, but pretty darn close to 25. Now, we are still building these silly biplanes. but I'd say an expansion of them is warranted. Yes. Yes. 10.3 IC. That is great. Yes, I think an expansion of our light aircraft is in the cards, and also I want to build the Third Army with medium armored tanks. I think that makes the most sense. So we do medium armored. Let's see. Something like this. If we save that template, we've got Panzer 41, Panzer 36. So slightly less softness. A light tank right now has more defensiveness, just because we don't have any upgrades for the medium armor. I mean, this is... Look at the picture of the medium armor unit that we're actually building. You know, this is a Great War tank sort of deal. But with the upgrades, I think that this will be our mainstay tank division. It's got 10 soft attack compared to 14, so it's worse. It's got 4 combat width compared to 3, so it's worse. It's got the same number of hard attacks, but we have better piercing and better armor. So, like, if we were to set this guy up against this guy, these light tanks would not be able to pierce the armor of the heavy tanks. So even just with that, I think it's worth it to have just as a counter to enemy tanks. Air attack's pretty crap, defensiveness much better with the light tanks. So yeah, the light tanks are going to be the mainstay of our army at this point, but I do think we want to get these guys queued up at least. Oops, I just queued up a bunch of light armor. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to, I swear. Medium armor. 5. 100 IC. It's going to take a while to get these guys going. It's going to take a while. Now, what we could do is rather than have 2 medium armor regiments motorized in a truck toad, we could add an engineer in here to give it some additional combined arms bonus. This is a flat bonus in terms of the efficiency of a unit's combat. So, but adding a support unit would only increase the combined arms from 42 to 43, and that's really not that fantastic. If we had the ability to build self-propelled like tank destroyers or something, we could add a direct fire to this, which would be great. That'd add another 10% or so, but right now our only direct fire is infantry support tank, and we have already decided we don't want to deal with that one little bit. So these guys are going to be really expensive and basically just sit in our queue for a while. I'm sure we'll get them out eventually, but our mobile unit and armored practical will be decreasing as these guys finish, so we might just want to sit on these guys and not queue them up until our practical gets better. Actually, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that. We're not going to queue them up until our practical gets better. Norway seems to be trying real hard to not be friends with us. I think we might need to do something about that. Okay, it's September of 36, and I'm officially running out of 37 techs to care about. I want to get this out of the way. Let's just get that out of the way. We're going to have some inefficient technologies for a while, but that is okay. We are losing money, we are losing supplies. I'm not worried about either of them at this point. Alright, and we've researched coats. Congratulations. The Germans have researched coats. You better tremble in your boots now, Stalin. Our coats are coming for you. We'll just get started on the small arms, that'll be fine. Alright, but I think I'm going to take a break here. Basically, nothing has happened in this episode. Except we slightly intervened in what seems to be the winning side of the Spanish Civil War. We did, magically, like I didn't do anything fancy or anything, we got all of our resources into the green, except our supplies, which we are losing, but I'm not too worried about that. We have deployed almost half of the tank corps, the Second Light Tank Corps, almost all the way And the Second Army is at 126,000 men compared to the First Army, which is at 184,000 men. So we've almost got a full Second Army built, produced, and deployed to the field. We do need to worry about officers, but we will worry about that at some other time. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.